Hey everyone, today we are trading the tiny toy in Roblox Jailbreak, and this is one of the vehicles that is actually kind of a funny meme. It's basically a smaller Camaro, and it looks just like a convertible, I guess. Like, you could see your head is sticking out from the top. This vehicle is very, like, fast for what it is. I think it was even faster than what it's going right now. But what's actually impressive about this vehicle is just its speed is very good. Like, it's surprising that this goes like 130, and it has very good acceleration. So, again, for a small vehicle, I can't really complain because this is equivalent to something like the ATV. Like, this is very impressive, and the turning is very sharp as well. I actually think that it used to go 150 as well. It used to have a slightly higher top speed, but as you can see, this is more than good enough. The only downside, and this is more of like a nitpicky thing, I do not like the engine sound for this. It sounds like some sort of mosquito. Like, I don't know why it sounds so obnoxious, but it's like it's flying next to your ear the whole time. And because I wear a headset, it's so annoying using this vehicle. I have to like zoom out the camera just to stop the engine sound. That's just something I don't like. Just, it's like a really high-pitched sound. But the interior looks okay. This actually doesn't have like a traditional interior. Like, you can't see the steering wheel. It just kind of puts the camera right in front of the windshield instead of like showing you the interior, which is kind of a shame. But I can see that maybe like large Arthro packages would kind of be breaking that camera and whatnot. So it's an okay looking vehicle, and I think the reason you'd want to use this is if you want to get through some like narrow passageways. And an example of this would be trying to get through this little path over here. Like, as you can see, this vehicle fit in without any problem, and its acceleration is great. So you can see I'm going down these stairs over here. Now, I was looking for the Rick Astley meme, but this vehicle does struggle going uphill, so I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Anyways, you can see it's a very nice versatile vehicle, and it fits just about everywhere. And actually, something interesting that I don't know many of you guys know, but this vehicle has very weird hitboxes. So what I mean by that is it's very hard to get shot out of this vehicle. Like, it has just a very small hitbox in general, and this actually can be abused for the NPCs. So I actually made a short about this glitch, and if you want to see an easy way to do the NPC airdrops, then all you do is you just pull up with this vehicle, and it doesn't always work, but when it does, like, it basically just lets you do the airdrop without the NPCs really hitting you. And it usually works for like the first 2 tiers of crates, and I think it's a great little glitch you can do with this vehicle. And that being said, yeah, it just is much harder to get arrested in this vehicle. It has the exact same dimensions as something like a Volt bike, and you can see over here that, yeah, it doesn't go anywhere near the top speed, but it's still a very solid vehicle considering that it was free. Now, I'd love to see some more vehicles like this added into the game, just small meme vehicles. But anyways, we're going to be going around and seeing what players offer, and you can actually see that this is literally the same exact height as if I were just standing. It's pretty crazy, but this vehicle is actually really small. All right, there we go. We're offering the tiny toy to this player, and he's throwing in the M12 right away. That's his only vehicle. Oh wow, that's actually kind of impressive. Let's see if I can throw in maybe Show Classic to get myself a Molten M12. Honestly, if this happens right now, then I'll totally do it. He's actually going to give me an M12. So hold on, I'm actually going to try and throw in maybe a few $1 million vehicles. Anyways, this guy was going to do it for the tiny toy at first, but I kind of don't want to trade it because I literally just started this video. So what I'm going to do is I just replaced the tiny toy for the drone and trailblazer. All right, so he declined the second trade, but was going to accept the first one, which I kind of don't want to get rid of the tiny toy because, like I said, then it just becomes much harder to just trade for it again. I think the trade was tiny toy and Show Classic. So if you want to see if you can get yourself an M12 for that, which, speaking of that doesn't really make sense because I don't envision this car as being crazy valuable or anything. But if he maybe had chat on, then we could have just discussed what he wanted. But he unfortunately did not have chat on, so we couldn't discuss the trade. Anyways, we're just going to keep on going around and seeing what players offer for this vehicle. All right, we've got another player right here, and he's throwing in the SUV and Posh for the tiny toy. Okay, so he threw in the Superstar texture as well, but now my side is too low. That's not really ideal though. I think the SUV and the Superstar texture aren't worth like anything. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to cover like the retired vehicles. Like, look at this. This vehicle was removed in the game like 3 years ago, and no one ever uses it, and it's just kind of in a weird place. I don't even know if I'm going to review the SUV and Posh. You guys probably know it's worth like literally 100k, but either way, I just am not going to do this trade for the tiny toy. I don't really see a point. All right, we've got another player over here, and he's offering the Model 3 and a few colors for the tiny toy, so that's not ideal. Let's see over here, we got Mandalorian. That's actually a pretty cool outfit, and he's got the crown and escape bot. Let's see if he can throw in both. No, he just does the escape bot. Oh, that's a rough one. I can't say I want to do this trade because I think most of you guys have already beat the boss, so I don't really find much incentive to trade for the escape bot. Let's go ahead and trade the tiny toy to this player. Oh, he's trading the tiny toy too. That's actually really crazy. Oh wow, he's giving me the slope and I have to add for it. That's interesting. But yeah, I had to might actually leave that last server just because there was like so many players that knew me, so hopefully that doesn't happen here. But I did give safes to anyone who did mention me and got into a trade with me. So obviously I'm not going to do this trade, whatever this is. He's giving his sloop for a tiny toy in Shell Classic. Okay, so what on earth is this trade? This guy is giving me a sloop Model 3 military green color and Raiden orange color, and I'm giving the tiny toy in Shell Classic. So this is the first trade we got in this server, and it is obviously not too great. So I would absolutely not do this trade. If you've got limiteds or retired vehicles, I would most likely not downgrade them for obtainables, because what on earth am I going to do with a sloop? And in fact, I remember actually buying this sloop, and I still feel that I've never like used it to this day. I think I just bought it during a stream, and that's really about it. Like, I just never have spawned it in or anything. The only thing that I've done with it is the SpongeBob Easter egg, where you go to the Alcatraz island when it's raining, and then it becomes like a haunted ship. It's a pretty cool Easter egg, but still there's no real use for these sloops. So anyways, I'm probably just going to end up leaving this trade. We got this player, and we're going to be throwing in the tiny toy over here. Oh, he's offering the Rattler. That's actually really cool. The only issue is I need to find better vehicles to balance with, but yeah, here's what I have going on right here. Tiny toy and Shell Classic for the Rattler. Now here's the thing, I can't really do anything else, or he will have to add, so I'm just going to stick what I have offered over here. All right, we've got Diego over here, and we're going to be throwing in the tiny toy. Man, my side is still too low for the Blackhawk. This kind of sucks. I'm going to try throwing in the Crown to see if he adds anything. Okay, he threw in the Interrogator and Speed Texture. I don't think that's good enough for the tiny toy. So right now it's kind of rough because I'm just constantly getting trades that don't really have that much to them. He's saying it's a good offer. I don't think so, man. I mean, if you really want, then I guess you can get $1 million vehicle with a small ad for the tiny toy, but I don't really see a point in doing that. Oh wow, those are the champion tires. I've got to say, if they weren't level 2 for this season, then it would be pretty decent. But yeah, he's trying to add a little bit extra. I just don't really see a point in doing this. If anything, here's what I might try and do. I'm gonna try throwing in vehicle that's worth slightly less, like the Stallion. Here's what I think would be a little bit better, like the tiny toy and the Stallion. But then I think, yeah, now it's not balanced. I don't really know what else to really do besides maybe throwing in a Ray 9 or something. Yeah, there you go. I feel that would be a little bit better. Okay, I mean, if you add in like a bunch of useless vehicles, then you might be able to balance out this trade for $1 million vehicle, but I don't really see a point, so I'm just gonna decline the trade. All right, we've got this player. We're gonna be throwing in the tiny toy again. Oh wow, he's throwing in the Hyper Yellow 5, but I don't really have anything to offer for it. I mean, I guess at most I could throw in a torpedo. Let's see if he'd do this for the Hyper Yellow level 5 tiny toy and torpedo. This is ridiculous. You know what I kind of want to do is I want to throw in the tiny toy and Camaro, but the Camaro is not in the trading island. Like, it's a free vehicle that everyone owns, so it's not tradable, which would be really funny if it was. But okay, so he's gonna do it for a tiny toy and torpedo, but I don't know, it's kind of a stretch. I don't want to do it for a torpedo. By any chance, let's see if this guy has anything good. And no, he just has a bunch of Model 3s. What on earth? Even if he wanted to, he doesn't like have anything else he could add. Oh, speaking of it, can anyone let me know how people have so many Model 3s? It doesn't really make much sense to me. We've got another player over here, and we're going to be throwing in the tiny toy, and I hope we actually get a pretty reasonable offer for this vehicle, because that last one was pretty rough. And he also has the tiny toy, and he throws in the Hyper Orange level 1. I accidentally threw in the Goliath over here, but let's see if he wants to add anything. I can't just do it for Hyper Orange level 1. He has like a few decent vehicles he can do. He could throw in his beige in it, and then I could try adding up to it. Let's see this. What if I do this for the beige, the tiny toy Goliath at M12? He backed out before I could even finish adding for the beige, so that was really weird. Let's keep on trading the tiny toy over here. So one thing I will point out with this vehicle is it's crazy acceleration. I really like it. Is this the same guy we literally just traded? Why is he trading me back? That makes no sense. Okay, I mean, I can accept his trade. I'm just really confused why he's just coming back to me. Oh wow, he's actually trading something else now. He's trading the Megalodon. This is the same guy we just did. So let's see if I could balance it out with maybe a Model 3 or something. Oh man, my side is still too low. Tiny Toy and Bandit. Let's see what he does. He has like a lot of good vehicles. There you go. Finally, something decent. Megalodon and Jackrabbit. And I actually did a video covering the Megalodon. Like, this isn't a crazy valuable vehicle right now, but because I don't find it very frequently, it might be a worthwhile vehicle to collect in case it does end up rising. So I mean, I think the Bandit is a little bit high, and so is the Tiny Toy, but then again, he is throwing in the Jackrabbit. But just to make sure. Oh wow, these are actually traded a ton of times, like compared to mine. Oh yikes, yeah, you can definitely tell when items just are circulating a lot. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I could really do this. So overall, for the Tiny Toy, I feel it's a really mixed bag, just because it kind of is similar in a lot of ways to the Jackrabbit. I think this is a level 8 vehicle. Yeah, it is. It was in season 11, so I definitely remembered that when the Bloxy was the grand prize. So honestly, I don't think you can really do much more with it than just maybe throwing it in in as an ad. But overall, would I recommend trading for this vehicle? It's definitely not a necessary vehicle. I just wanted to kind of see what people were offering for it. But right now, there just isn't really much to say about the tiny toy. Like, I mean, this is basically the offers I'm getting for it, so I'm just going to back out of this one. But that being said, the good thing about this vehicle not being worth that much right now is that at least you can get it for very cheap. Yeah, I don't think this vehicle even went for $1 million vehicle, so if you want the tiny toy very badly, then I can definitely suggest just trading $1 million vehicle for the tiny toy. Now, the player that's actually trading the tiny toy will have to add something, so just be prepared for that, just in case they want to throw in like gold or something, or pixel. That's been something I've been seeing frequently. But overall, tiny toy, one of those vehicles that just kind of a one-off, and I think it's a good idea for a vehicle. And I really like that it's a convertible over what they were planning at first. Like, at first it was just going to be a shrunken down Camaro model, but yeah, it's basically a convertible now. I really like the seat on it as well. It's just a shame that it's not worth that much in training. So yeah, guys, that being said, if you want to see some other jailbreak training videos, then there is a playlist in the description. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and if you like the video, make sure to like. And that being said, I'll see you in the next trading video.